Both my parents are actually immigrants, so I'm the first to go to a 4-year in the US. It's been a really unique, also like challenging experience, like
Right.
having to navigate it for the first time, like by myself, but also guiding my parents and explaining to them, this is how this works. There's been some challenges, but at the end of the day, I think it's just like shaped me into who I am.
They say college is the best 4 years of your life, and where you live and who you live with is a big part of what makes it so great. I'm Laura. I talk with students across the country about their college living experiences, the good, the bad, and the memorable, so you can learn from them and truly make these your best 4. Rambler is a student apartment just steps away from ASU campus in Tempe. With options ranging from studios to 4 bedrooms, there's a layout for every lifestyle. Designed with ASU students in mind, Rambler features curated interiors and next-level amenities. Think 2 pool decks, cold plunges, state-of-the-art fitness center with Pilates reformers, a dedicated study lounge, and even an on-site coffee shop. Rambler also gives larger groups the option to lease nearby units on the same floor, creating your own neighborhood. So you can live next to all of your best friends, but still enjoy the perks of having your own apartment. Use code BEST4 at ramblertempe.com to waive your application fee when you apply. That's a $50 value. Again, that's code BEST4, BESTFOUR. Today, I'm here with Sophie. Hi, Sophie.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to talk about your living journey here at ASU. But before we get into all of that, tell me a little bit about where you're from and why you chose to go to ASU.
Yeah, I'm Sophie, and I'm from the Bay Area, California, born and raised. I currently reside in Reno, Tahoe area,
Uh-huh.
and I decided to go to ASU because I've always really been drawn to the campus. I just wanted to go somewhere warm, somewhere different, but also somewhere closer to home, and I just thought that it was the best fit for me.
Right.
The business school is what I came here for. I'm currently studying business communications, and I am just in awe of my education, like where I live, just ASU all together, and I just couldn't be more happier.
Yeah. So you've had a great experience here so
Yeah,
far, it sounds
It's
like.
yeah, it's just crazy that it's like almost coming to an end.
Yeah.
Like senior year is next year. I've just had the best time, and
Yeah.
I'm not ready to say goodbye like
And
at all.
you're also a first generation student, right?
Yes, yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so both my parents are actually immigrants. So I'm the first to go to college, like in the US. My older sister actually did attend school, but I'm the first to go to a 4-year in the US. So my mom went to college in India, and then my dad did school online. So it's been a really unique, also like challenging experience, like
Right.
having to navigate it for the first time, like by myself,
Right.
but also guiding my parents and explaining to them, this is how this works,
Yeah.
this is how like my classes work. This is what's like college sports are, stuff like that. This is like what a sorority is. Like they have no idea like what any of that means. And I've just had to explain all of that
Yeah.
and just like figure it out and navigate it myself because like it's just me having to do everything and then tell them,
Right.
okay, so this is what I'm signing up for, or this
Right.
is like what I'm doing today, or
Yeah.
this is what next year is going to look like,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
And do you find that it's frustrating, or do you feel like proud like of yourself for
Yeah.
doing this all on your own?
Yeah, there's been some challenges. I have felt really frustrated, but at the end of the day, I think it's made me really independent and I've learned a lot. So I would say like I'm more grateful than like frustrated. I feel like it's just
Yeah.
like shaped me into who I am.
What was that process like, I guess? Like, because you had to learn all of this. Like,
Yeah.
were you just like on YouTube, Google, or how did you learn all of
Yeah,
this?
just lots of like Google search, asking people for advice.
Right.
Like I was chatting with the girls on Instagram, how do you do this? How do you do that when I was looking for a roommate? And they answered a lot of my questions, and I feel like that's what helped me figure out this.
Yeah.
But the housing portal itself and like moving into college, I honestly feel like it's laid out pretty well, pretty step by step. Like
Okay.
you're not really confused. It's just important to get it done because there is a lot to do, but
Yeah.
it is like pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
But coming into college itself, like I just didn't know like what housing is, what Greek life is, what
Yeah.
to expect going to a four-year, like how classes are structured, just how different it is than high school. And that was just a big transition for me.
You said that you have a lot to do, like in the housing portal.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through the steps?
Yeah, when you are moving into the dorm for the first time, there's obviously a checklist that you need to complete, figure out what move-in day you're going to be like coming into ASU, and that's, you know, a week in advance to your first week here as a freshman.
Right.
Like welcome week. And there's also videos you have to like watch and complete about like alcohol and safety, just what to expect living in a dorm, as well as selecting like where you want to live. I just remember at one point, me and my roommate had to be on FaceTime when we were selecting like the dorm that we wanted in Hassay, and just correlating that. So just making sure that our names were set up on the same like column or chart. Like, yeah, it was definitely like a process. And you also have to do a math placement test prior to like entering business school to see where they can place you, because it's a very like math heavy degree. So you have to take a placement test, do that. And there were probably like a few other things that were very like minimal, but I really just remember like getting your housing done. Yeah. Watching those videos, just making sure you had all of it done before you could fully move in.
Right. And so you would recommend doing that earlier?
Yeah, just get started as soon as like you accept, you know, your admission to ASU, just get on it, because like I'm a procrastinator, but I was so excited to go to college, like get going. So I was on top of it, honestly, and I just really recommend that to any student going forward.
And so do you have any advice for maybe a first generation college student?
For any incoming first generation students, I would definitely just recommend, you know, Google's your friend, but don't be afraid to ask for help. I mean, like the internet really is going to be your best friend, but don't be afraid to reach out to people as well. On those like college decision pages when you're like looking for a roommate and like trying to make friends. Just having that like network is very good. And also like your friends from high school, like they're probably going to be applying to like all, like, you know, you guys are all getting ready to go to college. So I would definitely, like, if you're like a first gen, but your friends, you know, their parents went to school in the States, just ask them, like, how did they navigate this? Or how did you figure out this? Like, give me your insight. And I feel like just leaning on your friends and people you know will really help you out.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
So you mentioned these pages. Is it just on Instagram, or are there any other spots that you can find?
I found my roommate. So you know how when you graduate high school, sometimes they'll do like all the graduating seniors, they'll make a page to post like where they're going, you know, like DHS decisions, you know, and they'll just post all the seniors graduating. So I thought, okay, there might be like an ASU class of so-and-so page for all these incoming freshmen. I don't even know how I thought of like to think of that, but also just being on Instagram now, you can look up anything. So I was like, let me look up like ASU, and I saw that page would like pop up.
Right.
So the page came up, ASU class of like 2026. Yeah, that's when I'm graduating. And yeah, everyone was posting their photos of themselves, and then you write like a little bio saying like, hi, I'm Sophie. I'm committed to ASU. I'm studying this. I'm looking for a roommate. Yada yada yada. Just talking about yourself. And then I started following people on this page just to like find some more girls or maybe people I know. And I would reach out to them and be like, hey, I'm studying business. I'm looking for a roommate. And how ASU works is when you are housed, you are living with other people that are studying the same degree as you.
Yeah.
So all the business majors are grouped together. So I was just DMing all the girls that I saw that said they were studying business. Like, do you want to be like roommates? And then, you know, that's a process. And then that's how I found my roommate, but also just friends coming into college. So it was like less lonely. And like I met up with them like the first few weeks of school, and like hang out and go explore ASU together and navigate it and like figure it out.
Yeah. And you ended up at Hassayampa your freshman year, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Hassay, I would say I loved living there. It's a very lively dorm. You'll hear that from anyone on campus because
it's like infamous, I feel like, on campus. Yeah.
Everyone just hears, you got to go to Hassay to party or like have fun. It's just very lively. I think everyone's very excited to be there. You know, your first year, some people's first time like having full freedom, or just, you know, you can do what you want when you want now that you're an adult. I loved living there. I met so many people. I met like my roommate, just like so many girls, our suite mates. It was a great time. I'm really glad that I lived there and, like, got my housing done earlier because I would
Mhm.
say it is the nicer, like, business dorms on
Right.
campus. Like, these were built in 2006,
Okay.
but, when you are applying for housing, there's an option for, like, Irish Hall, Best Hall, or Hayden, which also house business majors,
Mhm.
but it's communal restrooms, way older, just very
Yeah.
gross.
I've heard of Best. Have
Best,
not
yeah.
heard anything about Irish or Hayden.
Yeah,
Talk
I
to me about
had a
those.
few friends live in Hayden. My 2 best friends lived in Best,
Mhm.
and then Irish, I don't know much about. They're just all in the same, like, vicinity of
Okay.
each other, and it's all business majors from my
Right.
understanding. So basically how they ended up there was they didn't do their housing early, so that's why, like, that's where you ended up, but some
Mhm.
students will pick Best or Hayden because it is, like, a cheaper financial option.
Right.
So because they're older, when you are selecting your housing with your tuition costs, it is cheaper.
Okay.
So I think some students will pick that just because it's, like, what they can
Yeah.
afford as well.
How much were you paying at Hassay?
I don't know the numbers, but I my tuition.
So it's lumped in with your tuition.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
all so
Yeah.
your first year, your meal plan, your housing, and your education is all grouped together
Right.
for, like, your cost. And I don't know the exact number, but my tuition is, like, $24,000 a year.
Okay.
I also have a scholarship. That's why
Okay.
I get about 5,000 off each semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congrats on the
Yeah,
scholarship. That's
thank you.
amazing.
They actually admit I don't know if they still do this now. I've been seeing this on, like, TikTok. Some girls are like, "I wanna go to ASU, but I can't afford it," and they're business majors, but I most business majors, when you are admitted to ASU, like WP Carey, the business
Mhm.
school, they do grant you with a scholarship if you have a 3.0 or 3.5 or higher or even 4.0. So they'll
Okay.
give you different discounts off based
Oh,
off of your
okay.
GPA range.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure if they're doing this anymore. I
Okay.
wish I had researched that. But I've had that scholarship since my freshman year, and it's your responsibility to maintain it so you can keep the
Right.
scholarship
Yeah, if you keep your GPA
if you
up.
keep your
Yeah.
GPA. Yeah, and I feel like that's pretty easy to do.
Mhm.
You just go, yeah, you got to go to class, got to do your work,
Yeah.
but it is really doable.
Yeah. So talk to me about your first year at Hassay. It sounds like it was a fun experience.
Yeah.
How did you balance that with school and living on your own for your first time?
Yeah, I definitely say making a schedule what was most important to me, so
Mhm.
I felt that I could balance everything. Content creation actually got really busy for me my freshman year,
Yeah.
also just maintaining, like, wanting to hang out with people and, like, going out.
Mhm.
Your workload is a lot lighter freshman year, but what I did to stay organized, I had a planner, just a physical planner that works
Right.
best for me. So every Sunday morning or Sunday night, I'd write out everything that I have to do for the week. So when am I going to eat? When am I going to film this brand deal? When am I going to go to class? When am I going to do
Mhm.
homework? And then when am I going out? Stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And that worked great for me. I
Yeah.
never missed an assignment. And then also just checking your email and Canvas daily is so important. Like, I
Mhm.
can't stress that enough because
Right.
some days your professor may say, "We don't have class today." And you might wake up and go and get there and realize, "Oh, we don't have class." I've done that
Yeah.
twice. And then sometimes deadlines change
Right.
for assignments. So it's just important that you check
Yeah.
those emails, check those Canvas announcements, and
Mhm.
just check, what do I have due today
Yeah.
on Canvas?
Yeah, and you mentioned content creation,
Mhm.
and I want to talk to you about that and, what inspired you to start sharing your college life on TikTok.
Yeah, I've been doing TikTok since my junior year of high school. It
Mhm.
honestly just became like a hobby of mine during COVID. I was feeling, like, really isolated. And my whole life, I've pursued, like, videography, doing YouTube, making videos. I started doing day in the life videos during COVID, and people felt really, like, connected and inspired by that and
Yeah.
motivated because it was a very, like, isolating time.
Mhm.
And I built this audience going into college. And I would say I wasn't super, like, interactive with my followers at the time, but they just liked seeing what I did day to day. And then as I got to college, it opened up a lot of more doors for me because
Mhm.
I got to work with a lot of more brands, got to do a lot of more brand deals because
Right.
going to college is just, like, so appealing.
Yeah.
So I got to work with, like, Princess Polly for the first time. Like, I was receiving, like, clothes, like, PR packages, like, perfumes, phone cases. I received, like, a dorm vanity mirror. Just all the dorm essentials
Yeah.
is, like, what drew people in.
Right.
And then I started doing videos like, what do you need to get for your dorm, college advice, and then day in the lives at ASU.
Yeah.
And that drew people in, seeing the campus, the
Right.
scenery, like, the parties, just going out, just stuff like that. And people just continue to ask questions, get more engaged. You know, how did you get into this? How did you go to that event? Or like, should I go to ASU? Just simple questions like, what are you studying? Like, how did you do this? And it just kept going from there and just building.
Do you have questions from incoming freshmen
Oh,
about
yeah.
ASU? And what are some of the maybe like more frequently asked questions you
Yeah.
get?
I actually just did a video on this. The most common question I'm getting asked is, how do you make friends and how do you find a roommate? What's the ASU community like? And I'm just like, I get that. Like, you don't know where to start. And I just told them the same thing that I told you. Like, look up ASU class of whatever your graduating class is, and you can look for people there. My other piece of advice is to literally just talk to everyone. I know college is so scary. I'm a very like outgoing, extroverted person, so it's not really a challenge. I knew I was going to have no problem like making friends and just meeting people. So I told myself, I'm going to talk to my roommate. I'm going to get to know her. I'm going to get to know my suite mates, people in my hallway. Like, me and my roommate got to know everyone on our floor. We started hanging out with them. Like, you just have to say yes to everything and be willing to put yourself out there. I would also talk to people in my classes, like girls I sat next to. I'm like, hi, like, what's your name? I actually met like two of my good friends in my English class freshman year just from saying hi, how are you? And I'm still friends with them. Like, it's just crazy if, like, from then to now, like how much we've grown. But you just have to not be afraid. Just really just say yes, be willing to put in that conversation. Everyone is just as equally excited to be there as you are, and it's not scary, it's not embarrassing. Just say hi. You know, like, I feel like there's not a lot of people anymore that just say hi or are genuine, and just be that person to just say hello and how are you, or like, my name is, and go from there.
And you mentioned dorm essentials before. You made a video about that. So what are dorm essentials?
You definitely need a mattress topper. When you move into the dorm, it's these hard blue mattresses. I would definitely recommend a mattress topper. Shout out Sleepyhead. I actually interned for them. They're based in Scottsdale. I definitely recommend an air filter, like air purifier. I did not know like those things existed, but I feel like that really would have helped with my congestion and like stuffiness in the dorms. It's because it is very dusty and the air circulation is kind of poor. As well as getting like a water filter for your sink and for your shower. You will notice so many girls talk about how their hair gets thinner and gets stripped, and that is because of the hard water in the dorms and the apartments. So I would recommend that because I feel like that would have changed my hair, even like your skin barrier.
Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, my hair got so thin. I was also blonde my freshman year, so the bleach definitely did not help.
I was also blonde.
Yeah, I feel like everyone had that phase, like freshman year, you're blonde, and then you realize that did not look good. What was I doing? I think that was definitely a contributor, but the hard water will thin out your hair. So I think you can install like a shower head, get some sort of shower head like filter.
And at Hassay, you had one bathroom for your whole suite.
Yes.
Right.
So it's two girls in the one room, and then, me and my roommate. So 4 girls total share a restroom. Yeah. So, I think a shower head would have been like necessary. We should have done that. We just didn't know at the time. You don't know. You don't think about it long term. Yeah. And I would also recommend getting a mini fridge. My roommate brought one. I'm like, that is genius. Why did I not think of that? It's perfect to just store like little things like snacks, goodies. Even like breakfast meals. Just also, if you go out and get food, perfect for takeout. So you have like leftover food.
That's so smart. Any other things to bring, or
you want a lot of like outlet plug-ins, like outlet strips, power strips. You're gonna be charging a lot of things, your phone, your computer. You want to be able to like move around when you're dorm.
No, that's all so smart. So freshman year, Hassay had a good time. I heard that sometimes the health is not the best.
Oh my God.
Hassay.
Yes. You are going to get so sick your first freshman year of college because you are in a place full of all these different germs from all over the world, from all these different people. It is just so important to take care of yourself. Also, another piece of advice, highly recommend you get like a first aid kit and bring all your cold medicine, anything like that. You will need it. Like tea. What I bought was a kettle to make tea in my dorm and ramen when I was really sick. That saved me even when I had the flu, oh my gosh, I had the worst case of the flu ever. I was just drinking like the Theraflu packets to like keep me alive. You will need a kettle, you will need tea, honey, any like just ramen
Yeah.
to basically keep you alive. But it's just so important that you take care of your well-being, like you're
Absolutely.
sleeping enough. If you are sick, do not go out because you're going to get other people sick. It's
Yeah.
just kind of selfish.
Yeah.
But you need to rest. You're not going to get better. And I learned that the hard way. I would immediately I'd feel better after being sick.
Yeah.
I'd go out. Next day I'd catch something. It's because
Yeah.
I didn't rest enough. I didn't let my immune system recover.
Absolutely.
You need to take care of yourself. So just working out, making sure you're getting enough sleep. Take
Right.
your vitamins. Like
Yeah.
that will change your life, genuinely.
I feel like vitamin D is easy here.
Yeah, you have the
'Cause
sun.
there's so
Perfect.
much sun.
Just anything that's like super important for your health,
Yeah.
obviously.
Like, how's the food? Or is it
Yeah.
getting a lot of nutrients?
Oh my gosh. So at Hassay, I honestly had no complaints with the food. I think a lot of people complain about it. I don't know why.
Right.
I didn't like the breakfast options for sure. That would always upset my stomach.
Yeah.
Lunch and dinner options, I had no problem. Like,
Right.
I honestly really enjoyed it with like chicken, pasta,
Yeah.
just lots of like meat.
Right.
And then we have a fresh like salad bar every day, fruit bar.
Would you recommend students live in Hassay if they can get in?
Oh, yes. I think it's the nicest dorm option. The location is the best. Like, why wouldn't you want to live there? It's just a perfect part of campus. You're 5 minutes away from the SDFC, which is our gym.
Yeah.
Just great location. You're going to meet your best friends there. Like, every person I've met in the dorm, like, just have been such great people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you could give like 3 tips to an incoming freshman,
Yeah.
what would they be?
Definitely get your housing done on time. Learn how to read your DARS audit, which is a audit that tracks your degree progress. I think this is just super important because your advisors will always change. That's the hardest part.
Okay.
So
Like
it's-
turnover or like just by
I
year?
don't know why this happens. Every like few weeks, it's like, hey, you have a new advisor. And I was
Huh.
like, what? It's not very consistent.
Yeah.
So it's important. I've been told the wrong thing by advisors. So it's important that you know how to read it so you know what classes you have to take going forward
Right.
in the next term
Yeah.
so that you're not behind on graduation or you're not missing a credit, no surprises.
Right.
Because you can't trust your advisor. I'm sorry. You have to do it on your own. And then my last piece of advice is really just to put yourself out there, say
Yeah.
yes to everything, and do not be afraid to ask for help, talk to people and just put yourself out there because you will find your people and find your place here.
Yeah, I love that. So your sophomore year, you decided to live in an apartment.
Yeah.
Park Place, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So after your freshman year, you're not allowed to live on campus anymore.
Oh, really?
So I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. Like after your freshman year, it is up to you to find housing. So I signed a lease at Park Place for my entire sophomore year. It's about a like 11 to 12-month lease, almost a year. Like,
Okay.
so it'll start in August and it's done end of July. So it's almost like a full year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What do you have to do for that like month? Or like, do you have to like move out?
Yeah. So this summer, I actually had to move out for like a week.
Okay.
So like, thank God for my boyfriend because I didn't know like what I would have done. 'Cause,
Yeah.
my parents are working. They can't really come out here to like help me move
Right.
out. It's also the middle of summer, so it's hot. But I decided to just like live there again this year, my junior year.
Okay.
So I had to move all my stuff out. One, because I was moving into a new like room.
Yeah.
But even then, even if you're renewing in the same room, you still have to move your stuff out so they can inspect your like room,
And then you have to move it all back in.
move it all back in. So I had to move all my stuff out for about a week or two
Okay.
before I can get the keys to my new place. So I had to
Okay.
pack all my stuff up and just keep it at my
You
boyfriend's
kept it at your
house.
boyfriend's. Do you know what other students do if they don't have like a boyfriend or like somebody they can?
Yeah. Most people just get a storage unit.
Okay.
They are also pricey, but
Right.
most people have a storage unit. So with these leases, people will also just go home for the summer. And then when it's
Okay.
time to move out, they'll take out everything and probably take it to a friend's place, or they might like overlap their leases.
Yeah.
Say like, you can start moving into this place, but then your lease is just ending at your old
Right.
place.
Right.
But most people I know, like they just come back to move
Okay.
out their stuff, or they just before they go home for the summer, they'll just move everything out and put it in a storage unit. So when they do come back, all they have to do is just drop the keys off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That seems a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So going back to how you found Park Place and why you decided to live there. So when you were looking for apartments, what was that process like? What were your non-negotiables and how did you find apartments?
Yeah, I had no clue that you had to start looking for apartments like 2 months into your freshman year. Like you have just moved in. It's October, September, and my roommates and people I know are like, "Yeah, you have to sign a lease by November." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm in full panic mode. Like, what do you mean I need to find where to live? Like, I haven't even made any friends yet. Like, I haven't made like good connections. And my roommate and one of our friends, her parents were really helpful. They actually, both of her parents, I think, had gone to ASU.
Yeah.
So just the help of our friends' parents that have been here before, they got us started on the apartment process, like looking where to live. So we decided to go tour apartments parents weekend our freshman year.
Okay.
So I was kind of just tagging along with them. And like, of course, their parents came out, mine didn't. So I just had to figure it out.
Yeah.
We went down Apache and then there's District and like the Districts, which is an apartment. And then you can go more down the block, then there's Park Place.
Okay.
District, I would say, is a little bit more like outdated.
Okay.
Like older appliances, which I know people care about.
Right.
I liked it at first, but then when I saw Park Place, I was like, wow, this is really nice because it's marketed as like luxury apartments.
Right.
It's like newer appliances, very like white and gray, like aesthetic, just very clean, like newer look, which is like what people look for. And then the rates were also appealing at the time. I signed a lease for a 4x4 for like $1,060 just for like my share. Yes, that's pricey, but that was cheap at the time. Now I pay like almost $1,300, $1,400 to live in a 4x4.
Yeah.
So at the time, I just tagged along with them, got their parents' advice, like my roommate's advice. We decided not to live together just because I think her and her friend were going to do like a 2x2 together. That was obviously more expensive. And I just was like, I'm not ready to do that, or like, I can't afford that. I just decided to sign a random 4x4 lease.
Okay. And then you were like, I have to fill this.
I have to like fill this. And I was like, great. I don't have any friends, like close friends just yet that I want to live with.
Because this was
first semester of freshman year.
What month? What month is like parents' weekend?
November. It was November this weekend. I remember it was like the first week of November.
So you had been in school for
3 months.
3 months at this point.
And like, I made friends. I didn't really feel very close or tight to anyone yet. But I was like, I love my roommate. Like, I still love her. We're still like in touch. I just did not want to just jump into signing that lease, but also just like was not affordable for me at that time.
Did your parents have like a specific budget for you? Were they like, hey, you cannot go over like this amount?
Yeah, our budget. My parents were like, you should find something less than $1,000.
But it's tough, right?
It's
because
tough,
you don't have a car.
I don't have a car.
Like houses are the cheaper option. Houses you can find $800, $900, but you need to live on campus so you can walk.
So that's kind of like the compromise. Yeah, you pay a little bit more in rent to be closer to campus but not have the car. Not having a car has been really challenging. I definitely you need to have a car. After your freshman year, when you're living off campus, you need to have a car because you're no longer on a campus now where your food is provided, classes are close, like you had the dining hall a 5-minute walk from you, but now you have to buy your own groceries, you have to cook. So that's been really hard because I've had to Uber to get my groceries, and like even now living with my friends, like they're happy to take me, but we're all on such different schedules because we work, just have different class schedules. So it's like I can't wait for my roommate to take me. I have to go do it myself, and I think that's like the biggest downside of not having a car is like I can't go anywhere. If I want to go shopping, I can't. If I want to go to like TJ Maxx to buy stuff or go get a coffee, I have to take like the streetcar or what's closer in vicinity, like where I can walk. Like I walked everywhere.
You mentioned the light rail.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, we actually have like a streetcar or tram. That's like what people call it. You'll see it going down Mill in Apache. So the green one is free for students and the public, so anyone can take it, and there's like security on it. That's super convenient. I take that every day to get to class or like to come down to Mill. And then there's the light rail, which some people will take maybe to go like downtown for like sporting events or like concerts. And the light rail runs from downtown Phoenix all the way to like Mesa, I believe. And that's
Okay.
the purple one.
Yeah.
You have to pay for that. Whereas
Okay.
the streetcar, it's just for college students
Yeah.
and it's free.
So
Yeah.
how often do you use that?
I use the streetcar every day. Yeah, I take it to class every day.
Yeah.
And then like when I go out on the weekends, you can just take it to the
Right.
bars. Yeah.
So there are ways to get around campus besides walking. However, it's definitely more convenient to have a car. if you're able to
Because you
take
can
it.
just
Yeah.
get up and go when. And then even like having a job, like I've had to tell employers like my first internship, I'm so lucky that they were like fine with me Ubering, but a lot of jobs like they
Did they pay for it or?
he started my manager started to
Okay.
when I got back into the school year, but starting I would keep it a secret, and then he figured out I was Ubering, and then he was like, I have to pay, I'll pay for you, or like I'll just increase your wage, and I was like, thank you. But
Yeah.
like even now, like I'm just like applying, I want to have a job, but I don't have a car, and that you need a reliable form of transportation. But yeah, you need it for if you like most kids work that I know, like you need a car to go to work.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
also days if you're living off campus, you'll need that car to go to class, and like park in the parking garages and stuff like that, because if you're not living close to campus, like where else are you going to park or
Yeah.
commute from?
And so that was a big like non-negotiable for you when finding an apartment was
Yeah.
needed to be on campus.
Yeah.
And so you signed your lease at Park Place.
Mhm.
And how did you find your roommates? Because you had to fill that spot.
Yeah, they actually assign roommates for you
That's
if you
right,
don't
yeah.
fill it. So at the time, I was making friends, and my friends that I actually live with now, they were also living at Park Place. And I was like, oh my God, maybe I can transfer my lease and like live with them.
Mhm.
They told me it was going to be an additional $900 just to
Wow.
like still fill a 4x4. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I asked around, like more people I like met. I was like, do you want to like fill my unit? Just wasn't really having any luck.
Yeah.
And then I got assigned 2 random roommates
Okay.
in my 4x4. We had 1 empty room. So it was the 3 of us my sophomore year
Yeah.
in that apartment. And yeah, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
That whole situation changed my life.
Yeah, because you guys didn't necessarily gel
Yeah,
very well.
we did not get along at first. It was great. And then I realized, I should just keep these people as my roommates, not as friends.
Yeah.
And just try to be civil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just a lot of conflict arose, and just maybe not miscommunication, but just stubbornness.
Mhm.
Some people didn't want to do their chores.
Yeah.
Some people didn't want to clean up after themselves. And
Yeah.
I was really frustrated having to share a space with really dirty, messy people. I'll keep my room a mess, but if you're sharing a common space,
yeah.
like the kitchen and the sink and the dishwasher, you have to clean up after yourself. And it was really shocking to see for the first time in your life, like you're living with random people and you cannot believe people live like this.
Mhm.
And it was just a very uncomfortable experience,
Yeah.
just lots of arguments. I felt crazy for telling them. They made me feel bad about telling them to pick up after themselves and to lock the front door and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going mad. Like this is just nuts. Yeah.
So, what would you say makes a good roommate?
So as a roommate, it's really important to just communicate your needs, but also set boundaries. So as like when we first moved in, honestly, like these conversations didn't happen until a few months in.
Right.
When I started to get frustrated because I was like, hey guys, can we make sure to do our dishes? I don't like, they've been sitting in there for a week. You're very comfortable to how you live.
Right.
But then you forget, you're in a shared space
Yeah.
with people. And I just think it's important if you have a boundary, if there's something that bothers you or something that you like in a particular way or would just like to communicate, it's just really important to just have like a conversation with your roommates. Over text is definitely not the best way sometimes because tone is never properly conveyed through text. It's just important like how you say it and the tone.
Right.
Because that can offend anyone or upset anyone. And it's just really important to recognize like people handle like conversations in person or confrontation very different than others.
Yeah.
So it's just important that you're calm, you're
Yeah.
civil, you're not attacking them, just saying, hey, just like learn how to speak to them and with them, understand how they behave, how they talk, maybe what might hurt their feelings. It's just really important how you say
Yeah.
it. Don't be passive aggressive. Just be straight and
Yeah.
forward. There's no need to be petty.
Yeah.
It's not personal. Like, and even I live with my best friend now, and like there's things that like I might leave out or like she might like leave out, and I'm just like, hey, can you put this away? Or like like going forward, like I bought this, like could you just like buy it next time? And she's like, yeah, Like, that's all it has to be.
Right, yeah.
It's not a personal attack.
And maybe having those conversations sooner. But I mean, you were kind of assigned these roommates, so you didn't really have, I mean, how like short of notice did you have between being assigned these random roommates and actually moving in?
Yeah, at Park Place, they actually don't send you the contacts of your roommates until a month before you move in.
Okay.
So the lease started in August. They sent me their contact information in the middle of July.
Wow.
So it was very short.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
So that was your sophomore year.
My sophomore year.
At Park Place.
Yeah.
And so you were there for the whole year, basically, in this situation. And then your junior year, you're currently a junior, you decided to stay at Park Place.
Yes.
Yes. But you switched units and roommates. So tell me about that.
Yes. So I stayed at Park Place because I still was just trying to figure out where to live.
Yeah.
My friends and I were all trying to sign on a 4x4 together. But one of our other best friends, she was planning on transferring home and then she didn't. So we were all just like, we were just trying to figure out that 3x3 or 4x4 situation. We all had different financial like situations and budgets. That was challenging. And then me and my best friend Liv, we were trying to figure out how to do a 2-bedroom. The rates were just crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And they kind of, the student living, they'll bluff and tell you like, oh, there actually isn't anything left. Like, you have to sign now. You have to sign now.
Yeah.
And we just kind of panicked. We didn't know what to do, and we wanted to live together. We actually found, so it was going to be 4 of us, but now it's just 3 of us. So we signed on a 4x4. We thought it was going to be the 3 of us, and we got assigned another random roommate. Okay. So now it's just me, Liv, and our random roommate.
Yeah. But you set boundaries.
So set boundaries like right when we moved in. I would say like I love our new unit. Like things, it's just so comforting to live with one of your friends.
Yeah.
And like I feel like her and I also live pretty similarly. So it's just been like really comforting and just so much better this year. Yeah. And like, boundaries are set. Like moving in, like I knew first thing, what I've noticed about like our Park Place front doors is that like the hinges just let it swing and like shut. Like so no matter how fast you pull it, like it will just slam.
Okay.
And that really bothers me because I have the room closest to the front door. I had this problem last year too. I was closest to the door. So like a boundary that I need to just like tell my roommates this year is like, please don't slam the front door when you're coming or going. Just slowly like let it like slowly come behind you, then like stop it and then like let it shut,
For sure.
Stuff like that. So yeah, I've set those boundaries this year.
So what do you love about living at Park Place? And I mean, you mentioned a couple of cons. Yeah. What do you love about it?
I like the location because it's about like a 20-minute walk from campus, but the like streetcar stop from me is like 8 minutes.
Okay.
I've liked the updated appliances. We also have a balcony, which is very nice. Yeah. A few student apartments here do not have balconies.
Okay.
Like Carmen, Apollo, Canvas. They don't have balconies, and I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I like our like amenities. Like you have the gym, you have the pool. I would say our pool is very nice. Like we spend a lot of our time like going down to the pool, the hot tub. The gym is right there. You have study rooms, which most student housing here has.
Yeah.
So that's like something that I like. 'Cause it's all newer, more updated. You don't feel as like old. It doesn't feel old or like gross. And I think I'm just used to that nicer living. So yeah, that's what I really like about Park Place. It's really just the location and the amenities.
Yeah. What are some of the cons?
Cons is I would say it does remind me of Hassay in some ways. Just the loud partying.
Yeah.
Hallways are very
like
dirty.
A party like apartment?
I think, you hear people, you see them, you hear them down the halls, or you can see other people's balconies. But we've just got placed in a really bad location, I guess, where our upstairs neighbors party a lot and next door also parties a lot. And I'm surrounded by all this noise. And I think that has been like the worst part of this year. But I would just say it is kind of like dirty. The amenities are great, but sometimes like they're just closed randomly, or like some of the gym equipment can really be updated. And I feel like I wish they took more like action to fix that.
Yeah.
Same with like just handling like our people who pay for parking, it's like $200 a month. That gate is broken. Wow. So people's vehicles have been like getting like broken into.
No. Yeah.
So I think it's just important to think about just like really research where you want to live. Like, on the outside, Park Place looks great. It's nice, luxury apartments. It's like what it's advertised as, but I did not know how thin those walls would be.
Yeah.
And I just wish I would have known that, or even had even thought of to ask that question.
Yeah.
But, this is like my first time, navigating, student living, like college
Absolutely.
living. So this is just really a learning experience. And like now I know what to
Did
look
you
for in
read any
apartments.
reviews?
I didn't.
I wonder like what the reviews would say. Like,
Yeah. I don't even know. I was just letting like my roommate and the girls at the time just taking their advice. And, like,
Right.
we also toured Park Place, so I was just really impressed with it. And I think you're just so caught up freshman year that you don't prioritize like housing and certain things. So I wish I did like research a little bit more. I was just taking like my roommate's word and
Yeah.
people's word. Like also I toured it. I was so impressed. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna live here because
Yeah.
the rate is good and it was just a nice place to live. But I just didn't, I like, even now you asked me that question, like I didn't think to read the reviews. Like that is the stupidest thing you could probably do. So I wish I had done that and just read the reviews
Yeah.
before I actually signed on the lease.
So looking back, what is one thing that you wish you would have known about housing before coming to ASU?
Really just do your research. That's just something that I had no idea about. I just didn't even know that you have to start looking for. I thought like college, like you live in a dorm for 4 years. I don't know why. Like there was just no guidance. Like I just had no clue. So just really research student housing your freshman year. Ask your friends about it. Ask your family. Like I feel like you're probably gonna have more questions from people that have gone to school in the States, or if you have family that has just, from the States. My situation was definitely different because no one in my family has been to school in the US, just outside of the country. So it was just something for me to navigate. So it's really important to think about those things, use the internet, ask your friends for advice, ask your family for advice. I'm sure some people's situations will vary, but just do your research and be on top of housing and deadlines.
Absolutely. And then what is one piece of advice that you would give an incoming ASU student? It doesn't have to be housing related.
Yeah. Just be yourself. Seriously, I know that sounds so corny and cheesy, but you will find the right people. You will attract the right people. Staying true to yourself is just really how you're just going to make your friends here, make your experience so amazing. College is the best time of your life. Like, I really do believe that. And just being true to yourself is how you're going to find your true friends. And just be true to yourself. Why spend time pretending to be someone you're not? Because you're just going to attract the wrong people. So just be yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for coming today. It's been so fun talking to you, and I'm excited to see maybe where you end up next year.
Oh my gosh, me too. Thank you so much for having me.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye.